Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Thornton Farm, where today we're going to be doing some spraying work. Assuming I can find the trigger on this thing, because this... I hope I can find the trigger on this thing, because this should be mostly full still. This is the refillable thingy. Spray tank. That's not good. The spray tank is actually empty, and I think I need to go back to the shop. Wonderful. Could I, in theory, no. Today I'm using a new tractor again, because why not? This is the Massey Ferguson 8737. Pulling the Kuhn Metris 4102. Felt like having another change of machinery, and seeing as the realistic portion of the series is kind of done with. And I'm just kind of playing for fun until West Coast comes out. There's no real harm in me deciding I want a new tractor and I want a Massey and I want to spray. Luckily there's no mowing left to do, because otherwise I'd actually want to do some mowing. I've already used the big M. So I'm going to give you guys a little preview of what I've got planned for the West Coast. I'm trying to think of a way to do it that isn't going to be spoilers on what exact equipment I'm going to use. I have a color scheme chosen that is going for tractors and harvesters. It's going to be interesting. At least at the start. I might change the color scheme partway through because I want to change machinery up. But the starting equipment has a color scheme, and or will have. I haven't bought it. I haven't got it sorted yet because I don't have the West Coast. But when I do have the map, I'll be getting it all in a specific color scheme. Field 13 is this one down here, is it not? Yes. And the plan is that this color scheme will stay for a little while, and I can change the size of definitely the harvester, if not the, well, tractors may not be able to change sizes too much. But definitely the harvester I can make bigger with the same color scheme. It's going to be 6-meter seeding and whatnot equipment, and kind of large-ish equipment for the most part, with the exception of maybe the harvester. There won't be seasons, and I will play in a realistic style, so that means I'm going to ban myself from driving through hedges, despite the fact that it's a bullet bill map, and bullet bills hedges tend to be the kind that you can drive through if you need to. I'm gonna ban myself from doing... How did I leave a bale down there? How did I leave multiple bales down there? Oh, that's field 15, never mind. I'm gonna ban myself from driving through hedges, and the simple reason behind that is I want it to be realistic. I'm going to use the wheel, I'm going to use head tracking, I'm going to be switching between in and out of cab. I'm going to have the HUD for the most part turned off. But I will be playing on... This is the bit that's going to possibly annoy people. I'm going to be playing on easy difficulty. And the reason I'm going to play on easy difficulty is I don't want to be in the situation where, because I've set it to hard like I have done for the longest time, I never make any money. And it's like the first 20 episodes is me trying to desperately make the money to do something in episode 21. So I'm going to play on easy difficulty. I'm not going to have seasons, so it speeds things up as well. I won't be putting any placeables into the map, so... Well, for the most part. I might put one or two just for realism's sake. Woo! Okay, that works too. And what else? What other kind of mini rule have I created for myself? Oh yeah, I'm not going to use manual attach because it annoys me. Is that a fair enough rule for myself, I think? Manual attach annoys me. I will be, like, driving around realistically. I'll slow up for corners. I'll try as much as I can to not flip things, but it's me, so, you know, things are going to flip eventually. I won't be using... I might use crop... I'm not decided on crop destruction. Terrain response will be removed because, honestly, the amount of glitches and bugs that it causes at times... I'll run a test on some stuff that I want to use and see if it behaves. But if it causes trouble, it won't be in. What else is there? Because this is just kind of a preview of the West Coast, I guess. I will be using a mix of fertilizer pellets and spray, so you'll get to see both being spread, and the pellets will be spread in a piece of equipment that I haven't decided honestly yet. A piece of equipment that I think is big enough for the fields. The sprays will probably be either this sprayer or the other trail sprayer. I don't like the fully mounted sprayers. It will be one-stage fertilization. Just for ease, so that I'm not kind of constantly spraying or anything. I will be getting animals. In fact, I'll start myself with animals. So I've got to try and work them immediately. And it'll be cows and sheep. Actually, do I want sheep or do I want pigs? It'll definitely be cows, and it might be pigs, because I tend not to... Oh, I tend to ignore pigs, don't I? It'll probably be pigs just so that I'm forced to work with them. What else is there that I need to think about? Yes. One other rule that I've come up with for myself. And this is going to be an interesting one. I am allowed to use courseplay. So I'm giving myself free rein with courseplay, that's fine. But if I'm doing silage, it has to be with silage harvester. I can't make baled silage. So I'll have to, we'll say on the first day I'm on the map, start off harvesting or mowing, so that I can get the silage in. And I will allow myself to use the little Massey trail pickup harvester thingy, because I really like that. You know, I'm kind of half thinking 3-stage fertilization would be fine, but then again, the issue there would be... Here's the thing. I'm going to kind of leave it up to you guys, so please leave a comment. Would you prefer 1-stage fertilization where I intentionally don't fertilize for a while so the crops grow up a bit, and then I have to spray them, and then sometimes I'll go out with the pellet spreader and spread before I seed? Or would you guys prefer to see 3-stage where I actually have to go out with a weeder as well? So say I go out on before I seed and throw down some fertilizers as a buffer, and then after the first growth stage I weed the fields, and then after that I have to spray the fields. Would that be something you guys want to see, or would you prefer because that's the way I would do it. I wouldn't just abuse the mechanic of, well, you can pretty much fertilize a field completely before you've even grown it. Or occasionally, like I might put in the manure mod and use that little feature there where it gives you 2 stages, and then do some spraying afterwards and claim that, you know, say that it's weed killer or something. So there's a few different ways that I could do 3-stage, especially with cows in play. And it would be like probably 40 or 50 cows that I'd get to begin with, just so that there's a herd and they're constantly needing to be taken care of, and it'll be something that I can do on camera or off camera or during streams, and just something to not detract, but to add on to the field work that I'd need to do on the map as well. That's my logic there. I want it to be a realistic series, and in reality, a farm like the West Coast, from what I've seen of it, haven't actually seen the map yet. I've not actually watched any of the first looks intentionally. Um, I've been shown the PDA, and I'm making all of these decisions based on how the PDA looks. Also, if I need to move a piece of equipment, this is going to be the interesting bit. If I need to move a piece of equipment that in reality I feel would not be moved on the road and would be moved on a low loader trailer, either behind a tractor or something to that effect, I will have to use a low loader trailer for it. So for example, the Grimmy, I kind of feel like that wouldn't be transported around. I'm just using this over here as an example because it's there. That wouldn't, I don't think, be driven along the road because it would cause. Well, number one, it's quite wide and it's quite slow, so it would be faster and more efficient to just throw it on the back of the trailer and drag it there effectively. So that would be, thrown up on a trailer and brought over. The trailed harvesters, the trailed trigger bead harvester, that I feel like it would be brought on the road. Granted, it'd have beacons on. I will be using my beacons extensively. Because I've kind of strayed from the very mega realism. I've been going towards comedy. And there's been a few requests for me to do something a bit more realistic. So I think something like the West Coast might suit the realism a bit more. I know there's going to be people playing on it that are very realistic anyway, but I will be throwing in my usual roleplay elements, because I do like doing the roleplays. It won't be a full-on, I don't think. Unless it kind of escalates to the point where it is. It's not planned to be full roleplay, at least. But I will play it realistically to appease those of you who want realistic play. And I'll find another map somewhere, somehow, some way, there where I can just go a bit silly with things, and it might be Upton. But Upton, if you've watched any of the first looks, and I might do my own, because I feel like it's at a state where I could do a first look and not give a false impression of the map, but at the same time I know there's a change coming that will change how the map looks. So I'm gonna hold off on doing a first look of Upton Farm for a little bit. Just because I know Lancy's trying to squeeze something in that we're not entirely sure will fit or not. By the way, this is the reason I'm not going to be using terrain response. Is basically because it's a bit wonked. It's a bit weird. Tire dirt I will keep because I kind of like the fact that it knocks the dirt off your tires as you drive around over time. And I'm gonna try and have realistic-ish trailers as well. So I know the idea of the equipment I'm gonna go with. And some people are gonna complain about some of the work that I'll be doing with some of that equipment. But I've seen it done in real life. Therefore, I will see it done in the game. And if that's not a hint about what I'm planning, then I don't know what is. The harvester, by the way, I will tell you... Ooh, no, I can't tell you what the harvester is because that'll give away the color scheme. The harvester is gonna be interesting. It's something that I've wanted in the game for a little while. It's come in and I'm gonna be using it. I haven't tested yet, so I don't entirely know what the quality is going to be like. So I'm going to have to test that on... I'm using Upton, oddly enough, as a bit of a test map for mods at the moment. Like, if I get a new mod, I'll test it on Upton. If I like it, I'll bring it into another series. Apparently that's coming like Twitter or something. Interesting. For those of you who don't know, I should point this out, because I know there's a lot of new people to the channel. I do, I'm sure I'm gonna get these questions in streams anyway. I do know Sim, I do know Landykit, I do know Oxygen. I do speak to Oxygen David, not much off streams, but I do speak to him during streams. I do have a way of contacting him off camera, off stream, and all that if I need to, which I haven't yet, but I might start bothering him and annoying him. No, don't annoy Nat Makers. It doesn't end well. I do talk to Lancey Boy and Dusty Dave quite regularly and annoy them. I know that I annoy them. I keep making a joke that Dusty Dave is a slacker, which unfortunately somebody picked up on, thought that I meant he was lazy, and decided to call him lazy in their video. Which, yeah, don't do that if you don't know the person, dude, guys, because the running jokes that I have are running jokes that I have. Don't try and pick up on them, and because when I say them, it's aimed at friends of mine who they know what my sense of humor is like, and they've spoken to me off YouTube, and I've spoken to them off YouTube, and it's a respectful thing. As silly as my jokes can get, they're respectful. And what day is today? Is this video going out? This is the third one I've recorded today, and it's Monday. This is the video that's going out on my birthday, I think. If today is Thursday, it is my birthday. And I am now 26 and therefore old. Is that how it works? Is like as soon as you turn 26 you're officially old and therefore should give up on life forever. But yeah, if this is Thursday's video, it's my birthday. If it's Friday's video, yesterday was my birthday and I forgot to mention it in that video. But yeah, I'm getting old now, and I feel old a lot of the time. Age waits for no man. Wait, no, that's time. Time waits for no man. Age waits for everybody. 26 will be coming to you guys too, if you're not 26 already, or even older than that. Also, while I'm grabbing the cedar in a second, I'm going to be refilling my e-cig because I completely forgot to do that earlier on, and it's completely empty. And where did I put my oh, there's my for those of you that don't know, I used to smoke. And I am quitting at the moment, so I'm using an e-cig as a quitting aid. So sometimes I'll talk about it and say, oh, my e-cig's empty, I need to refill it, and I'll just stop the stream for a second while I do that, or stop the video for a second while I do that, and I'm going to do that right now, seeing as there's a nice straight line, and continue talking to you guys as if nothing's happening. So, one thing I will say, and this is a bit of life advice from Dave: don't ever start smoking because it's the dumbest thing you can possibly do. It's expensive and just a waste of money. Because all you're doing is wasting money on destroying your own health. Which, why would you do that? Like, if you think about it in those terms, why would you want to do that? It's dumb. Don't do it. If you think about it in other terms, it's spending money on effectively killing yourself, which again is dumb. Don't do it. But yeah, it's something that you shouldn't do. And if you are smoking, I would advise using quitting aids or whatever way works for you. The e-cigarette seems to work for me. Which is why you occasionally hear me go quiet and maybe hear some huffing or puffing. It's me just kind of making sure that I don't go crazy. It's open. Can I fit through like that? No. One thing that annoys me is the rear end of the 9RX that moves, not the front end. So you can try and make a turn that if the front end was the one twisting, it would make. But because of the rear end, it just won't. So let's get the seeder unfolded and we can start seeding in a moment. Come on. Technically it's now unfolded. Let me turn on the seeder. Right. On we go then. Seeding wheat, I guess, in this field. I think this was supposed to be a canola field according to my grand plan that I didn't really have, but yeah, it's wheat now. And once this field is sown up and field 7 is fertilized, I think we can actually fast forward time, which is going to be a pain because seasons. So I'll be doing that off camera. We can fast forward until hopefully it snows in winter and we can do a snow episode. And then actually pretty much fast forward taking care of the animals while I do it, of course. Which is going to be fun. I'm probably done on the stream actually is the fast forward to... I've just realised I'm not going to get the harvest done before West Coast comes out if it's uploaded like today. I want to get the harvest done and get everything sold off. So next week is going to be the last week of Thornton. We might do another full week of Thornton. Like a full 5 days next week. Then move on to the West Coast. So it might be 2 videos a day next week. Which is going to be fun for me to try and record. But that's my problem, not yours. Or what I might do is do a full week of videos on Thornton, and whatever days I'm streaming next week, which will be Wednesday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. For those of you that don't know, by the way, there's a reason that I'm like having weird stream times of late. I'm actually alternating streaming between 2 channels. Although this week actually, is a repetition of last week because I want my birthday stream to be on this channel. Otherwise, it'll be on the second channel and nobody watch it. Which, granted, it's going to be fine either way because I'll have fun, and the only difference is basically the rule set that I'm streaming under. Because I do stream under a rule set, believe it or not. I never openly admit it, but I stream with a specific rule set about what I can and can't say. Sometimes I'll ignore it intentionally to make a point, but my point here is that I do have a second channel. It's out there for you to find if you can find it. I'm not really advertising it here. I've spoken about it openly before. And it's basically just a channel where I play what I want when I want. Granted, I do have a stream schedule for it, so it's technically not when I want, but I'll play what I want because I want to. And I say what I want, more importantly. Because while I have a lot of fun on this channel, there are times when I want to say stuff and I just can't. The other channel, if I want to let rip at something, I can. And that's honestly the reason that I do it. I think it's allowed me to have more fun on this channel too. Because I'm getting a place to vent, as well as a place to build up things to vent. Which sounds stupid, but it's true. And by the way, just for those of you time buffs who like wondering what time that I record, it's currently 17 minutes past 9 on Monday evening, and I've only had a bowl of noodles so far today. So as soon as I'm finished this video, I'm gonna get the sound out of Audacity and go down and make myself some pasta, because I've got to cook for myself today. So I'll be making myself some delicious pasta, hopefully al dente if I can get the cooking time right, which I usually actually get quite close to good. It's usually maybe a bit too soft or maybe a tiny bit too hard, but I'm okay with it. I'm yet to make inedible pasta. Said that one time I put way too much salt in it anyway. But I'll be having a carbonara that I've cooked myself with stir-in sauce. Stir-in sauce counts as cooking, by the way, because you've cooked the pasta and the sauce is just like, blip, there you go. As long as you do it in the pot, it counts as cooking it yourself. And honestly, the hardest part is the pasta anyway, so... Yeah. No, the hardest part in reality is the sauce, Dave. I know that, but if you use the stir-in sauce, the hardest part is the pasta. Honestly, the hardest part is getting the wherewithal to actually cook. Getting the drive to cook, because that's a pain. You're like, oh, I'm hungry now, and the food will take 10 minutes. Why did I do this to myself? And I've just realised I've done that to myself right now, because I'm getting quite hungry, and I know pasta takes about 8 minutes to cook, even if you start with boiling water. So that's going to be fun. I am an idiot. Yes, I'm talking about food, Matt. Deal with it. I know Matt Y tends to complain whenever I talk about food, because he's usually hungry. Deal with it. Oh dear. I swear my Discord, the Discord, by the way, is in the description. We seem to end up talking about food almost daily. And the streams are slowly becoming like that as well. I don't mind this at all. Sometimes I'll get hangry during streams, but it's very rare now because I tend to be smart and actually eat directly before a stream. Whereas before it was a case of I'll eat my breakfast because I was waking up at logical times. I eat my breakfast and then not eat again before the stream, and I'd start getting hangry, and it was not good times. But now if I'm streaming, I will actively like have a snack or something before a stream so that I don't get hungry over the course of 2 or 3 hours because I'm fat and eat constantly. It's a thing that I've learned is like the best thing you can do is eat directly before a stream, so that, not food coma eat, but just, you know, eat until you feel like you're not going to get hungry for a few hours, and then stream and use up all your energy, and then afterwards eat again, because again, fat and terrible. Oh, I could hear the television from downstairs through my headphones, which I usually can't. Just hearing a strange noise. Hopefully that doesn't come out in the video and give me a copyright strike. I'll be quite annoyed if it does. And I'm not going to talk about the copyright video again. If you haven't watched it yet, please do. It's something... Okay, I just said I wouldn't talk about it. I'm going to talk about it very briefly. If you haven't watched the video on copyright, which is... well, what did I call it? Discussion, copyright and the Giants Terms of Service, I think is what I called it. Please do watch it. I think it's something that everybody involved with FarmSim needs to see. It's rare that I'll promote one of my own videos to that extent, where I'll say you need to see it. I think you do. It has information for both modders and players. And just kind of explains how the Giants Terms of Service deals with mods specifically. In every sense of the word, not just the copyright, but let's say a mod corrupts your entire hard drive. How does Giants Terms of Service deal with that? Is it Giants' problem? The answer, by the way, is no. Giants wash their hands in the terms of service of that, but what do the terms of service actually mean? For modders mainly, because that's what it mainly deals with, is what do they call it? User generated content, or mods. But there's a few misconceptions that are pretty common with people, I've noticed, where they think the terms of service say, well, Giants owns the mod once you've made it because you made it in Giants Editor. That's actually a falsehood. That's a lie. That's wrong. It's a misinterpretation. I think is a better way of saying it, because what the terms of service actually says is you grant Giants a license to use whatever you make from Giants that are using online, which is a bit odd because I don't think you can make a mod online using like multiplayer. I guess it means like any multiplayer maps that you've used in the past. Like they have the right to, if they want, take the save game. But what it means is the Giants can use it if they want to, and they don't have to say it to you. Even the same if you write a script, which I thought was actually exempted, but reading more into it was they did kind of deal with that and the whole if it uses farm sim at all we can take it kind of thing. Which is why I think Seasons to a certain extent is going to be in FS19. Even though there's no information out about FS19, it's still over a year away. I think Seasons is going to be in it simply because I've heard word from a reliable source. Now, I'm not going to name, because this is... Technically, when I say these things, it is journalism. I've heard word from a reliable source that somebody high up within Giants, I don't know if it's the CEO. Landy is under the impression it's the CEO. I've told him the exact information I have. But somebody high up within Giants has been following Seasons and is very interested, were the words used. And especially seeing as it won the mod contest, I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like basic Seasons and or Snow coming into Farm Sim in FS19. Which is something that a lot of people want anyway, so maybe look forward to that. But that is going to do it for today. We've got the seeding done, we've got the fields fertilized, we can start moving towards winter now. Except for one thing, we need to move these silage bales, which I will do in the next video. Until then, I will leave you by saying, I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Thornton Farm. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, please do feel free to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.